All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. We're going to kick it off here with the indices. We're going to go over the Mag 7 stocks, the semiconductors. We'll go over some Bitcoin stocks, and then I have some trade ideas just for you at the end of the video. All right, so we're going to kick it off here with SPY, guys. And what do we have here? We have another potential reversal. Is this the fourth or fifth one that is going to be faded? We had a 1, we had a 2, a 3. All right, and this is going to be the fourth over here. We will see what happens, but I am just going to say it is looking like we're going to be getting that bounce. What happens on that bounce, that is going to be important. So we'll just start over here on the weekly time frame. You do have the weekly hammer candlestick on, all of the indices here, except for DIA. It's not looking too good over there, but you see IWM popping up from this, important retest zone we have going on here. This is like a 2 to 3 year base that broke out. You're retesting that right now. Daily RSI is oversold, and you're popping back up there. QQ has the weekly hammer there stemming from the 0.618 fib. You come over here to SPY, also the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level right here from this whole run. You are right here on it. That is where you found buyers. And as we could see, we are underneath the short-term weekly moving average over here. So that is going to be, the important spot we're paying attention to. It's going to be right up here. So once we rebound here, once we get up here, what is going to be your sign that the market is ready to roll back over? Well, you're going to be watching for these upper wicks over here on the weekly time frame. If we come back here, you're watching for something like this, where you reject these weekly moving averages right there. But more importantly, something like this. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the case. I don't know if we're starting, this 2022 style bear market over here. I don't know if it's going to be a dot-com bubble burst where it's, you have this move, you go back up the highs, and then you start, rolling over again. It could honestly drive everyone nuts and you go back up the highs, but I'm telling you right now, this is going to be the spot to reject here if you are going to have something like this happen. It's going to go just like that. It's going to be right here at this zone we have marked out, 580.91 up into, we're going to change that right there. 586.12 down to 580.91. That is the zone you're going to be paying attention to on this rebound. I think there's a solid chance it could be hit this week. It's only 3 to 4% up. We do again have that weekly hammer here, and if SPY over here can pop above 567.89, then I think that is where we're probably going to get up to 580.91 this week. All right, so support and resistance over here on SPY. Resistance 565.16, 567.89, 572.30, 577.39, and then we have that 580.91 to 586.12 zone. You have the 0.618 fib from this whole move down right there, the retracement for that move. It's going to be sitting right above. On the downside is your support. You're going to have 559.11, 554.87, and 549.15. Now, if you can't hold 549.15, you're coming down to 539.44. I don't think we're going to test there yet, but again, your key is going to be up here, that 580.91 to 586.12 zone. That is where we're probably going to see on the weekly time frame here. We're going to see price start stalling out at. And if not, all right, you got a weekly close sitting up here. All right, maybe you get it up at 600. Well, that's a different look there. We're down here at 562. That would be a $40 move back. If you can, not stall out right here, then hey, maybe we get that scenario that drives everyone bonkers. You think something bigger is starting here, but then you shoot right back up to all-time highs. Who knows? All right, who knows? The thing that caused all this was, tariffs being announced. If somehow they magically go away, which I don't think that's going to happen, then hey, all right, maybe price goes right back to where it was. Who knows? I don't think that's going to be the case. So that's the area we're watching. So that is SPY over there. Coming over to QQ, like I said, 0.618 Fibonacci retracement test right there. And you did get a hammer candlestick on the weekly time frame printing off of there. Resistance over here on QQ, 581.06, 583.97, 587.74, and above there we have that key zone here, 494.49 up to 503.52. And then above there, we have the 0.618 fib, which is around 512. See on the weekly time frame, same spot. All right. It's sitting right over here. Okay. So you're probably going to get sellers stepping up in the zone over here, and maybe you wick slightly above it, maybe test 512. We don't know exactly how it's going to shape up, but one of these upper wicks right here that I wouldn't be surprised if we print one of them. All right. See how you came back up, you retest them, and you got these two back-to-back upper wicks. That's going to be your key over here on the weekly time frame to see, are sellers stepping back in here for a lower high before they shove you lower? Probably going to be the case, but we are going to see that happening in real time up in this area. Downside support for QQQ, 476.28, 470.83, 467.01. Lose 467.01, you're coming down to 459.17. You don't want to see that happen. Before a bounce, at least. It's probably going to happen after, but before this bounce, probably not going to happen. Now we'll just jump over here to Mr. VIX, guys. You are right underneath that 2204 level we've been paying attention to. Since you found buyers off it over here, you flipped it into support, and that is a key spot now. All right, so not only did we lose the 9 EMA, but we're right on the 21, and this is where price is going to start really declining here. We're going to really start the VIX crush underneath 22 bucks. If we could, just on Monday, it's going to be very telling on Monday. If we can get a close underneath here, then yeah, you're probably getting that bigger crush. You're probably going to see 18 to 1950 in the short term, and that is good for markets. Okay. Right now, guys, VIX has been, looking very constructive, just stair stepping its way up. It's now starting to get back that move. Once VIX starts losing that move, like right over here, you were doing that same exact thing, stair stepping for the whole month there. Well, 3 weeks. We had a whole month over here. We also had 3 weeks. So it's actually exactly like that over here. Once it starts losing that right here, then, you start that actual VIX crush. So we'll see what happens here. We will keep an eye on it. But as of right now, I do think the top is in for VIX for the time being. Probably going to get 1 to 2 weeks of nasty VIX crush, and that could result in a sick nasty rally over there in the indices. Could it just be the dead cat rally? Who knows? Who knows? We will find out. IWM, big spot here. Big 2 to 3 year break and retest going on here off of 196.70 to 201.99. Finding buyers in that zone. Daily RSI got very oversold over here, down to 22. Pop above the 9 EMA here. We're talking 2A84. Above 2A84, we have 213.97, then 217.37. I do think you're going to get up here. I'll draw a circle here just to make it obvious. I think you're going to come up here. You have the 200 DMA sitting right here. You're probably going to test it from underneath. Probably going to find sellers there and maybe come lower or come back down here for like a double bottom. It would look like this. Something like that, or it doesn't, and you just go down. You could make the higher low over here. You could undercut it, break 196.70, sweep it, come up. All right, there's 3 real scenarios here. If you find sellers off here, you take out the low, you come down for a higher low, you come down for an equivalent low, or slightly undercut it, and then you hit the double bottom. Either way, we're going to be looking for sellers up here if it's tested. 213.97, 217.37. Come over to DIA, guys. You are underneath the 200. I think this is going to reclaim that here in the short term. I don't think it's going to do much above it. I'm going to be completely honest. I think, it's probably going to perform like you did over here before coming down to a new low. But we will see how this goes. If the overall market is going to get a sick, nasty bounce, then this is probably going to follow suit. Maybe we come back up here to 430. But first hump on this chart is 418.51. Get above there, and the 200 and the 9 EMA here. Then you could start coming up here 430-ish. All right. So those are the indices, guys. We're going to come over here to the big boys. And Apple, we will kick it off with Apple. Now, this is pretty much the only one that did not print a weekly hammer candlestick last week. You have a very nasty bar here. You undercut the 200 this week. And if we come back up to test, you're probably going to find sellers here. That is probably going to be the case, but it is time for Apple to probably start getting that bounce here with the inside bar that it printed on Friday. And the daily RSI is hinging back up from oversold territory. First stop, 219.38. Second stop, 230.20, which is probably where we get sellers stepping in between 230.20 and 237.23. Coming over here to Tessie. Our little Tessie over here. Weekly hammer candlestick. right off the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level. You got the heavy volume going on there. You've had a straight vertical move up. You've had a straight vertical move down. It's not the best looking thing to see. But at the same time, you're probably about to get that relief. We're looking for the move up to 271. Probably going to happen early on this week if the market can hold. And then above there, 299.29. Now you're going to have the 200 and the 21 sitting here. So if you get back above it, watch for 326.59. You could get a quick move up there. But 200 DMA, guys, a lot of things got underneath it. Like you can even see on SPY, like, we're underneath it. You come all the way back over to 2022. You got above it for a little bit. You didn't hold above it. That's why I said the weekly time frame. This is really going to be our key here with what happens the next 1 to 2 weeks. Do we reject these short-term moving averages, or do we just reclaim them? Because if we reclaim them, maybe we do pop up to, a new high here. Maybe you at least pop up, right under the high. But if you don't, and you clearly are seeing sellers here on the weekly time frame once we test here, that's not going to look good. That means we're probably getting this scenario right here where, yeah, we get slightly above the 200 and then we fall back down to a minor new low, marginal new low over here, dance around here, everyone gets scared again, then boom, you get another rally. But guys, if we're in this time, which I don't know if we are, but if we're entering this, we're going to get some violent moves. All right. So it's your job as a trader to adapt to those violent moves, or to adapt to that violent market, I should say, and do what you got to do. You don't have to swing for the fences. You don't have to make, hundreds of percents on every trade. But, moving forward, guys, I think we are going to be in, even if it's not this, we are in a pretty crazy market. And I think that is the mentality that's going to serve people best. I talked about in my last video, guys, if we're going through this, you have another chance to get rich. I don't know what else to say about it. You have another chance. Like, of course, if you're a market participant, you have the chance to get rich. That's literally, you're going to keep building up your skill set. You're going to keep doing, doing things with what the market gives you. Can't control what the market does, but you can always adapt to what it's giving you. So, I mean, you as a market participant just getting better. Yeah, you're getting closer there, right? What I'm saying is you have an accelerated shot here, okay? A lot of money could have been made in 2022, and definitely a lot of easy money could have been made throughout the last 2 years of bull run we had. You're probably getting another chance over here. The market's actually resetting valuations over here. At that point, we are going to get a spot here for long-term investors to step in a big way and just make that nice, easy money, okay? But, in this market, it is your job to accumulate capital. It is your job, to do what you got to do, conserve. That's why I say don't swing for you don't have to swing for the fence if you want to, and you're going to kill this market. Congrats, okay? But if we truly are getting something like that, then that's, something I think everyone is going to be served best by mentally preparing for that. Like, that is the market we're probably about to be in, which is just a very volatile one. And you're going to have, the most massive rally years that are going to trick people just to fall back down. I don't know if we're going to be entering that market, but that is definitely, something that I would say it's going to serve everyone best if you mentally prepare for that. Don't expect this thing to just shoot up to all-time highs, okay? Every few weeks, if you're getting those 30 to 50 percenters, okay, if you're getting 1 or 2 of those a week, I think you're going to be doing real well. That's the type of trading that I think, people are going to do best in this market. Don't swing for the fences. I'm just going to speak from experience over the past few weeks. Breakouts, no follow through. Okay. We've had a lot of false breakouts, not getting follow through. Okay. Everything has been wanting to get sold. So, just expect, like, we have had that character change. If you, on this rebound, expect that character change to stick. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay. But it definitely has started, to look that way. I think that is, that's how most people should be looking at the market right now. Everyone should be looking at the market right now. We definitely have the character change. All right, so that's that. Let's come back over here. Let's finish up with these Mag 7 stocks. Meta over here, right here at the golden pocket. Find a buyers, double bottom for the second time. If you manage to pop up 638.40, that's going to be where that 21 EMA is. From there, you probably get a quick move up to 675 and get that next golden pocket test, which would be right above 675, 680. All right, daily RSI does not have a bullish divergence, but it's, bouncing for the second time off oversold territory. All right, I thought you were going to hit this 200. It was the only one who hasn't hit the 200. You did not. So, I think we're probably going to find sellers on this bounce over here and come a little bit lower. I think that's for the overall market. But at the same time, right now, guys, the risk is to the upside. All right. There's no question about it with what's going on. The risk is to the upside. Like all these other, you kept fading these potential bottoms. I get it. Things were looking hairy, but at the same time, the market's not crashing. It's not doing what it did in COVID 2020. It's not going to fall straight down like it has, been doing this, but it's not going to happen forever. You're going to get that bounce. So just, do yourself a favor. If you're still in that mentality of, thinking this market's just going to keep falling off a cliff because Trump is, going to keep doing it. Yeah, it can happen, but just know that's not where the odds are right now. The odds are definitely on this bounce. And then on that bounce, that is where we get to see if sellers are going to start stepping in here for that next move lower. Okay. 638.40, 675.25. Those are your key levels over here on Meta. Downside support is 580, and then you have the 200 DMA sitting right below around 570. Amazon, this is another one that's, right around this 200 DMA. I think you're about to get a quick pop above it. Key level over here is 206.99. If you could pop above 206.99, you're looking like you can retest 215.90 and maybe get a larger bounce back up here. It's going to depend on what the overall market does here. This thing's going to move with the cues. But yeah, get above 201 here. That's you getting above the 9 EMA and the 200. Get above 201.20. We're talking 206.99. Above there, 215.90. Downside support, 190.85. Then you have 185.23. Goog. Bullish divergence on the daily RSI. You're still underneath the 9 EMA. First step is getting above there. All right. And, to put a level to it, get above 170.45. You're probably going to test 176.73. That's where the 200 is. If you can get above there, you're talking 183.79. You do have that bullish divergence sitting down here, though. Yeah, I do think, if the overall market's going to bounce back, Goog is probably going to, get some nice action up here. That's Goog. Coming over to Microsoft. Nice weekly hammer candlestick. Third one in a row. Now it's the green one, though. I do think this thing is about to bounce back, potentially to the 405.57 to 410.29 area up there. Come a long way from your breakdown up there. And again, with all the failed reversals we've had over here, the key here is going to be getting over this 21. We stalled out here. We're going to see if we stall it here. 394.25. That's the level that aligns with that. Get above there. All right. Get the daily close above this 21. That white line right there on the daily time frame. And then you're watching 480 and then 405.57 to 410.29. That supply zone right there. Support 385.58, 376.91. Again, on the weekly time frame, you could see what's going on here. All right, buyers very clearly want to step in here. It's not like, over here you didn't get all these 3 back-to-back hammer candlesticks. Now the thing is in the complete dumps over here, and buyers are clearly, they're trying to do something like this. At some point, you're going to get the relief rally here. And I think that is about to take place with the overall market. Now, NVIDIA, the king over here, guys, if you're bearish on the market, just look at this chart. It just put in a candlestick that's similar to over here, similar over here, similar over here. What did all these, have in common? You went up the following few weeks here. I think for the next 1 to 2 weeks, it's pretty safe to say the market is going to begin that nice bounce here. NVIDIA has, definitely shined over here 16% in like 3 to 4 trading sessions. Kind of nuts. We're watching 127.67 to 131.26. That is what is clear as day incoming. The 200 DMA is sitting right here. So, played up to 127.67 to 131.26. Above there, you're going to have 135, which is the 0.786 fib. Get above there, 141.90. I don't think that's going to happen right away, though. I think you're probably going to have some cluster in here. Going to have a battle starting. All right, so if you're long into here, that's where you want to be taking profits into. So that's NVIDIA. We're going to come over here, SMH, guys. So this is, the index, the ETF over here that tracks these semis. Above 226.96, you're watching for 230.80. If you can get above there, you're getting above the 21 here. Watch for the retest of 237. That was the range you just broke down from. All right, so that's where you're going to be paying attention to over here on SMH. INTC. Making a comeback, guys. Making a comeback. You closed out the week near the high of the previous weekly candle here. Pretty insane look over here. I'm not telling anybody to chase this, but I do think it's going to be the comeback story over here starting on INTC. All right, so the fundamental story behind the scenes is starting to change, and I do think, you know, that kind of was represented on the charts over here, considering semis have been on quite a run. INTC did the exact opposite, and we're finally seeing that start to turn around here. All right, this is the big spot. So if you can get back up here, we're going to call it 26.43. Get back above there. If you see a weekly close above that level, this thing's probably going to start going for a run. All right, I'm not going to say it's anything crazy like it's coming back up here right away. But, you know, above there probably is going to test 30 bucks pretty quick. That's INTC. Avco. I'd say this is one of the stronger ones over here. NVIDIA's clearly the strongest chip over there. But, you know, second week in a row, you're finding buyers off of that 200 DMA, finding buyers in the golden pocket. Look for the test of the next golden pocket around 215, above 196.23. We are watching, you know, we'll just mark that out. Okay. So we'll say above 199.98. We're going to be paying attention to 211.11 and above there 219.51. Expect price to get back into this golden pocket here. This isn't exactly a look that just gets faded right away. This is something that's probably going to give you a pop up here. That's Avgo. SMCI. This is one that, you know, I'm not going to recommend anybody, you know, really trade here. It's pretty chaotic, but it is looking like it wants to turn around here, right? Found buyers in the golden pocket from this whole move up, right at the 0.786 fib, right at a break at retest level 34.98. And now you are trying to flip these short-term moving averages. If you get above 44.99 this week, expect to move up to 50.61. That is around the 200 right there. You can see in the weekly candle, though, it's also starting to turn around after 2 straight weeks of selling. TSM. All right, right here, you did make it down to that 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. You made it down for the golden pocket test, and you do have that bullish divergence sitting there on the daily RSI. You rejected the 9 EMA this whole way down. You got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, 5. All right, are we about to get a 6? I hope not. I hope you can get above 178.05, and from that point, you're going to test 184.74. That's where you have the 21 EMA. You have the 200 DMA. Get above there, 187.67. You know, I would really just be more comfortable marking this area with the zone here. This is where price is going. And this is where you should expect that reaction from. Get above 187.67. Watch for 197.46. Support is 170.79. All right, so let's quickly run through these Bitcoin stonks, guys. Bitcoin's not looking too good. I will say MSTR and coin, they're not looking terrible, MSTR especially. But yeah, Bitcoin is sitting over here right underneath the 200 over here. I personally wouldn't be touching this guy. The only one I would be trading over here, just because it's kind of trading against Bitcoin. It's not, you know, moving exactly with Bitcoin right now. Is MSTR. All right, MSTR is one that, you know, it was bouncing off the 200 DMA. I started giving it to you over here, came right back down over here, and I'm still gonna say, it's still in this falling wedge pattern. If it can start breaking out of this thing could start doing some crazy things. I do think it's separating from Bitcoin's price. But I will just tell you, right, with Bitcoin around 80,000, 75 to 80,000, down here, guys, the market cap is very close to its Bitcoin holding value at that price. So anytime you get down here and Bitcoin is around that price, just expect it to be bought. It's literally right there next to its holding value. Not, you know, right next, but there might be a 10 to 15% premium on that, if I'm remembering correctly. So anytime you come down here, expect it to be bought as long as Bitcoin is holding around this $75,000 to $80,000 mark. All right. So even if it comes down here, MSTR is not going to go much lower than what it already did. It's going to be a buy. All right. So that's what I'm talking over there. Coin, like this is what I'm saying. I would only be trading the MSTR chart, because this is not, you know, it's moving with Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't been looking good. As we could say, you broke the 0.786 fib. You could be coming down here. All right. You could be, you know, making your way down here to 146.12. That's why I would say MSTR is the only thing that's really standing out to me. Look at that. It's beautiful looking. It really is. It doesn't get much better than that. All right. Now let's talk about some trade ideas going into the next week. Now, of course, I'm just going to highlight my favorites over here. NVIDIA, this thing's coming up to 130 this week. All right, it's pretty clear as day. That's what the guy wants to do over here. All right, 127.67 to 130, 126. That's incoming. All right, so clear as day. There's your momentum right there. There's the thing that's going to be dragging the market up with it. If you want to trade it directly, it's right over here on NVIDIA. All right, aside from that, guys, I'm going to say Tesla. I like it for this week up to this 200 DMA around 285. That is currently a $35 move. All right. Whether you use this week's expiration, next week's expiration, the week after that, you're getting that 50 to 100% move on there. But that is what I'm seeing over here on Tesla. All right. Aside from that, Meta is the one I really like over here. If it could pop above the 9 EMA here. All right. I do think it could get a decent rally up here to 675. All right. Now, aside from those, and I like the indices as well, but aside from those, we're watching Lunar, LUNR, move back up here to the 200 around that 955 gap resistance right there between 955 and 1115. Expected to stall out, but I do think it's basing out here. And if it pops above 765, this thing, it's been known to get some decent sized moves. It can start getting a decent sized move, 20-30% day right there. Okay. The second one that, I've been watching over here is Lemonade. Lemonade over here has been ready for a squeeze. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to come, but we could see it building out over here. This on the daily time frame. We could also see on the weekly time frame building out. This thing's getting ready for a move. So if you see it pop above that trend line here, we'll just say break above this high at 36.60. Probably is going to move to $40, probably then moves to $45. MCD, all right. I'm just going to say, guys, this isn't a trade idea. This is like, don't buy this dip. I'm not saying you're not going to be, making money on it, but I think the move that we were watching, so not a trade idea. I just want to make that clear. But it is a chart I want to update. I don't think it's in anyone's best interest here to start playing MCD. It broke down through support that it was holding over here. It made the new low. NASDAQ weekly candlestick over here. Just not something that you want to be buying into. So I just wanted to update that. All right. Trade idea number 3, Bob. All right. Bob is clear as day getting ready to break 145.30 and head up to 161. It's going to be a very quick move that happens. 160 to 180 if you could pop above 145.30. So keep it on your radar right there. Next one is going to be PLTR, guys. I think PLTR is probably going to test this 95.80 to 99.32 zone I have laid out here. I think that is probably going to happen this week. If it pops above this 21 EMA here, all right, really pops above $88, we'll call it, then this thing is probably just going to shoot straight up to 95.80. All right, above 90.30, 95.80. There's nothing in between there. It's happening. All right, next one is Baidu. I'm just going to call out the weekly chart over here. It's really not looking all too bad, but the one with strength is Baba clear as day. So that is, a preference for me. But over here on Baidu, you could say, it's consolidating around the 200 for quite some time. It's getting ready. It's just basing out here, getting ready for that move up above 100. That is coming. It's only a matter of time there. Next one is going to be Uber. All right, Uber was a leader along this move up over here in the market. It was showing a lot more strength over there than the rest of the market when it was designed to go flat or sell. And now it's kind of slowly corrected here into the golden pocket. You're probably going to get another impulsive move up at some point here in the short term. All right, could align with this trend line. If you get above 73.55, that is probably when that impulsive move would start. And then you could look for 76.40 and then $81. All right. Last one I got for you is going to be Hood. All right. Hood over here, put in the weekly hammer. We have a lot of weekly hammers over here. But specifically, this thing has been, consolidating over here underneath the 9 EMA. If it can get above 42.14 over here, I think this starts, getting a decent bounce back. But honestly, we're talking, speculative charts like that. All right. Like Hood is one that led the way, just like PLTR did. I would just be focusing over here on PLTR. This thing definitely looks a lot more constructive here than what Hood has going on over there. And it looks like, judging by what we just got on the weekly time frame off the weekly 21, all right, all these previous dips have been bought here. You're probably going to get a quick reaction here, a nice $5 to $10 move over here on PLTR. So that's what I'd be focusing on. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I truly did. And I know, guys, this is a tough market to trade in, but I'm just telling you right now, I meant what I said before. It's a market where you're going to have to adapt to it. And I think we're going to have this, we have the potential here of having this crazy market over the next year. And I do think it's something that it's going to be a better market to be traded in than what we've even had. You're going to have a lot more volatility. You're going to have a lot more action. Okay. So that is something that, I think it's best that everyone just mentally prepares for. Expect rejection on this move back up, but just know the bounce, it's going to happen. People think market's just going to keep falling off cliff. I've went back and compared the charts. Guys, we're not having no crash right now. It's not. It was strictly the orange man was deciding to tweet out and, just continuously have these tariff battles with other countries. It is what it is. All right. But, at the end of the day, you got to adapt to it. We're probably going to be getting this bounce. Don't get sucked into the bounce 2 weeks down the line. But we're probably very likely going to have the NASDAQ McClellan oscillator been consolidating in oversold territory. That's going to snap back. Everything's going to snap back. Fahrenheit index, it's been, under 20 for quite some time now. That's going to snap back. And then the biggest tell over here is VIX is starting to actually crush. All right. I mean, you can see the weekly inverted hammer candlestick over here with that nice upper wick. This is typically what we see before it starts, actually, crushing. Okay. All right, guys. So St. Patty's Day is coming up. I'm going to be running a 60% off sale. The code is SP. So there's going to be that. Link is down in the description there. But that is SP if you want to come trade the crazy market with me. All right. And with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. I appreciate you guys. And I'm just saying, guys, we're probably about to see this rally. It's probably about to, it's going to rip some faces. You're going to have some fun for the next 2 weeks. And then after that, you got to be ready for the scenario we talked about, because it very well can happen. We haven't been underneath the short-term moving average this whole time. And when you did over here, you got right back above it. But even before you got right back above it, you got rejection. You fell down to a new low. So like, at least we're probably going to get this. And it doesn't have to happen, but that should definitely be everyone's expectations, considering, hey, you clear as they had the character change over here on the weekly time frame. It's looking like it could be something like this, where a bigger thing could start, or at least it's looking like we're gonna pop back up here, reject, and then come down to a new low that drives everyone nuts. One or the other is likely to happen, and the only thing that's going to tell you it's not happening is if you can get above this area and just shoot up the highs. I'm just saying, once we get this move back up, most of the tickers are going to be, they're probably going to be in similar spots at their golden pockets. You're going to have a 61 to 78% retracement of the move down. So if you're a bag holder, that's where people are going to be selling. All right. People are sitting on losses right now. If we come back up, you're probably going to get people selling. And that is what creates the scenario that I am speaking of right here. All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy next week. I'm going to be here. We're going to have a video Monday through Thursday. We'll have the weekly update next week, and we'll see how these weekly charts develop. Pretty excited to see how they develop into the next 1 to 2 weeks, really. That's the excitement. All right. We do also have FOMC coming out next week. So that is going to be a big one. FOMC is coming out on Wednesday with our rate. It's going to be a rate. It's probably going to be a rate cut. If no rate cut, we'll see what happens. All right. But, with Trump, with what Trump has been doing, we're probably about to get a rate cut, and we'll see the market's reaction to that. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your lovely weekend. And with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.